When you strip away color, you're left with something raw: shape, light, and space. And in black and white photography, minimalism isn't just a style. It's a very powerful way to make your images speak louder with less. Hi there everyone, and welcome to my black and white photography channel. And today we'll be talking about black and white minimalism. So minimalism is all about reducing distractions. And in black and white, your eyes are naturally drawn to line, patterns, and negative space. Without color around us, every shape has more weight and emptiness. And that emptiness becomes part of the story. So when you're out on location, everyone, try and look for shapes like circles, triangles, and leading lines, as black and white minimalism thrives on geometry. But it doesn't have to be complicated. A simple street light against the sky or a single line of a staircase can become art. Negative space is just as important as the subject itself. In fact, everyone, the more negative space you leave, the stronger your subject feels. Think of it like silence in music. That silence makes the notes stand out. And always try and shoot in open areas where distractions are minimal. Use high contrast lighting to make those shapes stand out. And don't be afraid of empty space. You should embrace it. And also simplify your composition, as one subject is enough. And guys, before I continue with the video, please stay till the end, as we'll be doing some black and white minimalism editing. And you'll see the amazing results you get when using my editing technique. So let's carry on with the video. Minimalism in monochrome is proof that less is more. By focusing more on shape, light, and space, you can create images that are simple but unforgettable. So next time when you go out for some photography, try and remove all that clutter, and you will see how powerful that silence can be. Well, now about the most important part of this video, and that is the editing process. And also that is where minimalism really comes alive. Push those blacks deeper, brighten your whites, but keep those midtones clean. A touch of clarity and contrast can turn a simple image into a bold statement. Well, enough of my talking, everyone. Let's head over to the computer and we'll begin the editing process. So here we are, everyone, on the computer. This is the image that we'll be editing. It was taken in Iceland a couple of years ago, and I've already transformed it into black and white. It was taken in color, like I usually do for my black and white images, which I transform when I take it over to Photoshop. But now we're back in Adobe Camera Raw. You can use Lightroom also for this editing process. Check out my other videos and you will see how I transform my color images into black and white, and from black and white into fine art or just black and white. Well, we're gonna start off with the exposure panel, the light panel, and I'm gonna reduce the highlights to get more information in the sky to around there. I'm gonna increase a touch of shadows so we get more detail in these three small islands. They are just like big rocks, but they're islands. And here you can see, if you zoom in, you can see there's a small house here, and people actually live there. I'm gonna increase the whites just a touch. I always hold down the Alt key on my keyboard and raise the slider, the white slider, until I see clippings on the histogram or white on the blackboard here, on the black image, and dial it down a couple of notches. I'm going to do the same for the blacks. Hold down the Alt key and move the black slider to the left until I see clippings and black on the white image here. And that should be okay. I'm going to increase a touch of contrast. And I'm going to reduce a bit of exposure to around there. As you can see, the sea was quite calm here. I didn't take a long exposure. And I just took the image how it was. From here, I'm going to go down to the effects panel. I'm going to increase a touch of texture. Not too much, as in texture will increase your noise in the entire image. A touch of clarity, and I'm going to give it a touch of dehaze. Next, I'm going to head down to the detail panel, and I'm going to increase the sharpening to around 45, 46. I always reduce the radius, and I always increase the detail to around 100. Next, I hold down the Alt key and raise the masking slider and see where I want the image to be sharp, which will be the brighter parts of the image. And it should be around there, should be okay. From here, I'm going to head down over to the masking panel, and I'm going to select the first mask, which is always the linear gradient, and I'm going to cover the top part of the sky and go around midway in the image. I'm going to now intersect the sky by pressing on these three dots here, and I'm going to intersect mask and select sky, and we remove the mask from these three small tiny islands. Next, I'm going to decrease the exposure quite a bit, like that. And I'm going to use another mask, and I'm going to use another linear gradient. And I'm going to place it again over the top part of the sky, but not go down too much. I'm going to reduce the exposure, and that should be okay. And now I'm going to use another linear gradient, but now I'm going to use it for the foreground. Like I said in the intro, in the video, choose the main subjects for your minimalistic image. And we have quite a lot of negative space here. And we'll be using the negative space and be doing some masking on it, which will draw the viewer's eye to the main subjects of these three small islands. I'm going to reduce the exposure here. As you can see, we're already drawing the eye to the center of the image. I'm going to use another linear gradient, and I'm going to place it over the foreground. And my aim is to get the topper part of the sky and the lower part of the sea roughly around the same tonnage to around there. That should be okay. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a radial gradient, and I'm going to target each of these islands here. Always make sure your feathering is up to 100%. I'm going to turn the mask a touch, open it up, And here I'm going to increase a touch of shadows. And I'm going to increase a bit of exposure as well. I'm going to open it up a bit more. That should be great. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use another radial gradient and I'm going to target the center island here. I might need to use 2 radial gradients. And again, I'm going to increase the shadows and a touch of exposure. I'm going to use another radial gradient and I'm going to target the top part of the image here. Again, increase the shadows and a bit of exposure also. And that should be okay. Again, another radial gradient for the other small island. I'm going to move it a bit here. If you hold down your Alt key, you can open the mask just on one side, like this. I'm going to reduce the size a bit, and I'm going to increase again the shadows and a touch of exposure. And that should be okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to head out of the masking. I'm going to reduce the image size. And here you can see the image is taking shape here. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use another mask, but I'm going to use the luminance range mask. And here we have our eyedropper. And I'm going to target these whiter parts of the clouds here. And here I'm going to increase the exposure just a touch. And a bit of whites also. It should be okay. We're soon ready, guys. It's becoming even more minimalistic. I'm going to use another radial gradient and I'm going to place it in the center of the islands here. And here I'm going to increase the exposure as the viewer's eye is always drawn to the brighter parts of the image. I'm going to increase it quite a bit, the mask. Should be great. Always check your histogram on the top right for clippings. It should be okay. I'm going to use another radial gradient and I'm going to place it exactly where I placed the previous radial gradient. I'm going to open it up like this. But now I'm going to invert it, everyone, and I'm going to create a vignette. I'm going to close it a bit. I'm going to reduce the exposure just a touch more. I'm going to head out of the masking, everyone. And the next thing I'm going to do is going to be the last touch of the image. And I'm going to use the curve tool and I'm going to increase the highlights so we don't get that flat image. Again, check your histogram. I'm going to increase the lights as well. Dial it down a bit more and I'm going to try and decrease the darks to around there, and we'll be creating that S shape, and that should be okay. Well, that's it everyone for the final image. I hope you like it, enjoyed my editing technique. Like I said before, check out my previous videos from turning color images into black and white. I use Photoshop, and I use the gradient map in Photoshop, which is a very simple process, so don't scare away from Photoshop. And then just bring it back into Camera Raw or Lightroom or any other editing software. Now I'm going to show you the before and after everyone for this minimalistic image here. I'm going to press P on the keyboard, and you're going to see the before image without any masking or editing. And that's why I said that editing is the most important part when taking minimalistic shots. This is the before. You can see it's quite dull. And this is the after. And you can see the huge difference by using my editing technique. Again, before and after. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. Please subscribe if you want to learn more about black and white photography. Give me a thumbs up, like the video, share, and please leave any comments below and I will be sure to answer. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.